So the government likes to create the illusion that everything's going well. The question is, how long can we keep this up? Because, let's face it, the internet is inside Hungary. We can't do anything about it. We don't even want to censor it like they want to do in the US, for example. So the truth is that everything is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it is impossible to hide a fact. I mean, at least anymore. But let's start with an example. An example is always good. So, what kind of secrets does our government want to hide? Well, first of all, they state that the economy is working. That's not true. Even the governmental statistical office, which releases statistical data, can be found on the internet. So when independent economists start to analyze it, they conclude that it's not going well. The same is true for anything else. The government says that the unemployment rate is down. Statistics says it's not. The government says that everything is okay, there is no corruption. The other data says there is. Let me give you an example. Some time ago, the government wished to rearrange the whole tobacco industry. So naturally, you would think that it will create a better market, it will create jobs for those who are unemployed. Unfortunately, not only statistics but facts say that the government used this opportunity to give party members the jobs. That's it. So now I know that in other countries governments lie to their people, and that's natural. That's what governments do instead of doing a real job. But it's different when there is a powerful working economy like the Western countries, including the US, who is in huge debt these days, but it doesn't matter. They have the army. And what do we have? We have nothing. So naturally, that sucks. So I wouldn't be so angry and disappointed in our government if we talked about a working economy, if we lived in a working economy, but we're not living in one, are we? The job market is in a horrible state. Nothing has been built in the recent years that wasn't built from European Union money, which the government says they owe us. But I ask, what the frack do they owe us? Let me explain the economy of the European Union. We are very poor. And the other countries, like Germany, Great Britain, Italy, etc. They have money, so they give their money to us so we could survive. And our government says that, yeah, but they owe this money to us. It's like a scumbag brother who is trying to live off of you, or whatever the expression is. We are like a parasite, and we are okay with that. How? How can we be okay with being a parasite? Okay, there is the question, is there a solution? I think it's been hanging there for a while. And of course, there is always a solution. Every single time that something happens, something bad, we can always find something that is a solution. And in this case, it would be a change in the government. Because they are, at this very moment, an ideological government. They have their ideas, their own ideas about stuff, which ideas are pretty bad, let's face it. But they think it's good because that's their limit. They reach their limitation. They don't know any better. So what would be the solution? An economical government, which we had for a brief half year in 2010 or something, when the former socialist government had problems. They called a guy. Now, I'm not saying that guy was nice. Frankly, I hated his guts, because he was an obnoxious, rude idiot. But there was one thing he knew, and I'm talking about Bajnai Gordon here, if that name rings any bell. He was good with numbers and economical decisions. And the West liked him. And the West doesn't like Orbán Viktor. So we need somebody who the West likes, and of course that's where the money comes in, of course. And then we need somebody who can actually do his job properly, because he has the professional knowledge. I'm not trying to suggest something here. I'm just talking. But of course that's the problem, isn't it? That I'm just talking. I'm not even trying to suggest something. I'm just trying to explain to you how our country works and what's going on. And I'm not giving you a lot of facts, and I know that's bad. But a fact can always be argued with. But if I talk about something that is a bit philosophical, well, you can't say anything about it, right? And of course there is a reason for that. I'm talking about the big picture here. And the big picture doesn't require numbers. But people, and my point here is that people in Hungary always try to talk about facts. They don't see or don't want to see the big picture. They just want to say that, okay, the government in Budapest gave 5 stores to this member of parliament. There you go. And then that MP comes out saying that, yeah, but it's actually for my sister, and so it's all mine, and I give jobs to the people or whatever. And they can't do anything about it. I'm talking about a notion here, and I think that's what people don't really realize. I love that. Anyway, because if they looked at the big picture and take into account facts like, or just let's not say facts, just ideas like, do the European Parliament like Orban Viktor? And no, they don't. Nobody likes us. Not even our neighbor countries like us. We always fight with them instead of cooperating with them. And I think there's an example in history. When the Dalai Lama was running out of the country because China invaded Tibet, people thought that, okay, now they are going to strike back with something. Instead, the Dalai Lama and his government accepted that, well, there's nothing we could do about that because China is this big and we are just this small. And they thought that, okay, it's time to negotiate some sort of peace treaty. So, okay, we will be part of your country and maybe you want to give us some autonomy. And the Chinese said no. And then, well, they are still keep negotiating. So that might not be the best example ever, but let's face it, China is not that kind of a country who can you can deal with things easily. They can't really say that, no, we don't have any problem with that. No, yeah, it's fine. No, they want to control things. But and China is powerful, and we are not. So what if, and I'm just asking, what if we started talking to these neighboring countries? Well, two things could happen. One, they would go, no, we hate you, lad, just go back. Or, after some time, they may want to talk. Who knows? But again, I'm just trying to explain the situation here. We could try, or we couldn't try something. Whatever. There is one popular question I always get. People say, who write to me, that why don't you become supreme leader of your country? Well, actually they try to imply that I should be a politician, but I always translate it as, why don't you want to become supreme leader of your country? And the answer is very simple. And this might be also the reason why people don't really react to the situation in Hungary. I am, let's say I'm a filmmaker and I teach stuff, so I have a business and I do businessy stuff. And politics is not business. Politics is sitting in a parliament, talking to other people, and not sitting in front of the computer, doing fun stuff, which I like. And other people like other stuff, probably their professional job, thing, whatever, hobbies. So people would expect that some other people try to sacrifice or themselves or whatever because they love politics, they want to be a politician, and that would solve our problems. Now, the problem, I think, is that not that we are in trouble, but we don't have any people who want to be politicians who can actually do stuff because they know how to do that thing. So we have people who are stupid, like the government, and they really want to do stuff because it seems like an easy job. And we have these other people who actually do businessy stuff and actually help the economy. And these people fight because the government wants to destroy the economy wants to survive, and the people who are in the actual economy don't want to be on the political side, because let's face it, I don't think that it's fun, and those other people think that it's not fun. People want to do farming, films, people want to do stuff like whatever. I can't tell. Oh, hold it. Oh, I was so enthusiastic. So people want to do their jobs, which is not politics. And I don't want to be a politician, much like any other people, because I don't want to do that job. I'm not interested in that. If I wanted to be a politician, probably I would have studied economics or something like that, because I think that politics is more about the economical well-being of a country. But I think in Hungary we haven't learned this, and we still think that politics is an ideological thing. Unfortunately, I don't think we can afford to be ideological here. We really need to survive. So if the government would step aside a little and let us work on the economy by lowering taxes, whatever, then I think we'd have a chance. But as long as they don't want to do this, and the people who work in the private sector and the economy, they don't want to be politicians, we are in a stalemate. So that's my thoughts about